pain stands as your greatest teacher, not your enemy. Most people waste their lives running from pain, numbing it, medicating it, distracting themselves from it. They commit a catastrophic mistake. Your soul never came here for comfort. It came for transformation. It came for growth through fire. Look at your life honestly for a moment. When did you experience the most significant growth? During times of ease and comfort, or when everything fell apart, when life forced you to your knees, when you thought you could not take another step but somehow did anyway? The most powerful souls throughout history understood what most never grasp. Pain serves as initiation, not punishment. 1. Pain shatters your illusions. The most dangerous prison exists not of steel and concrete, but of comfortable delusions. People live entire lifetimes inside mental cages they construct, never recognizing their self-imprisonment. Pain functions as the hammer that shatters these cages. When your heart breaks completely, something within you cracks open. The protective walls, the stories about what love means, your expectations, all shatter. And in that shattering, authenticity emerges. Disorder in emotions creates chaos in reality. When your inner world stands built on false foundations, pain arrives as necessary demolition. The universe loves you enough to destroy what lacks authenticity. The most significant spiritual awakening often begins with recognizing you were wrong. Wrong about your identity. Wrong about what holds importance. Wrong about life's fundamental nature. Notice the resistance rising as I say this. That resistance represents your ego, the false self, fighting for survival. It fears pain because pain exposes its deceptions. Consider your most painful experience. What illusions did that pain destroy? What stories about yourself collapsed after walking through that particular fire? Physical pain operates through identical principles. When your body hurts, it commands your attention. It yanks you from mental abstractions and grounds you in immediate existence. This explains why ancient spiritual disciplines incorporated physical austerities, not from love of suffering, but from recognizing how physical discomfort cuts through mental delusion. Order emerges from chaos through the power of the word. This means from pain's chaos, a new ordering principle can arise within you, but only through speaking truth about your experience, rather than avoiding it. The mystics throughout history understood this mechanism. They never avoided pain. They recognized it as the necessary catalyst for awakening. Buddha never reached enlightenment through pleasure. Christ never transformed consciousness through comfort. Their pain became the doorway to transcendence. Your pain asks a simple question: will you see what exists as real, or continue living in illusion? Your choice determines everything, but understand. The longer you avoid necessary growth pain, the more suffering you create. The flame of life persists eternally through all changes. When pain burns away falsehood, what remains cannot be destroyed: your authentic self. Pain burns away the masks you wear, the roles you play, the identity you constructed to please others or protect yourself. This burning away may feel excruciating in the moment, but the freedom waiting on the other side exceeds anything you can imagine. Look at how people react when terminal diagnosis arrives. Many experience liberation. Suddenly, pretense falls away. Social expectations lose their power. What truly matters comes into sharp focus. Pain brought this clarity, not intellectual understanding. The illusion of permanence crumbles under pain's pressure. You believed your youth would last forever until injury or illness proved otherwise. You thought certain relationships would never end until heartbreak taught differently. You assumed your mental constructs represented reality until suffering shattered those assumptions. Each shattering creates opportunity. When pain breaks apart your current understanding, space opens for greater truth. This opening never happens through intellectual agreement, only through direct experience of having your current paradigm destroyed. Growth comes through facing internal darkness and transmuting it to light. Pain forces this confrontation. Without pain pushing you beyond comfort zones, how many would willingly face their shadows? Very few. Yet within those shadows lie the keys to your liberation. Pain shatters not only personal illusions, but collective ones. Social conditioning programs, certain expectations about how life should unfold. When your experience contradicts these expectations, cognitive dissonance creates suffering. Yet this suffering can liberate you from societal programming that never served your soul. Notice how near-death experiences transform people. The proximity to death, ultimate pain, often destroys materialistic worldviews overnight. Values shift dramatically. Consciousness expands beyond previous limitations. Why wait for death's approach? Pain offers similar transformation now when embraced rather than avoided. Your resistance to pain amplifies suffering. Pain itself, pure sensation without mental commentary, rarely proves unbearable. Your narrative about pain creates most suffering. This should not happen to me. This will never end. I cannot survive this. These thoughts, not the sensations themselves, create true anguish. Cosmic mysteries exist that, when unveiled, would fill the world with their light. Pain often serves as the unveiling agent, stripping away comfortable illusions, preventing deeper reality perception. 2. Pain activates your dormant power. Consider a time when circumstances pushed you beyond perceived limits. What happened? You discovered strength you never knew existed. This exemplifies the paradox of pain. It uncovers capacity that remains dormant during comfortable periods. Fire, the inner force, stands as the most potent of all forces. Pain embodies this fire. It activates something primal and powerful within that nothing else can reach. Comfort keeps you small. Pain makes you expand. Every hero's journey involves suffering for good reason. Luke Skywalker loses his family. Batman witnesses his parents' murder. These patterns reflect fundamental truth about human potential. Your greatest power often lies dormant until pain activates it. Your body demonstrates this principle perfectly. During exercise, you deliberately induce controlled muscle pain. The response? Growth and strengthening. Without resistance, which creates discomfort, no growth occurs. This applies equally to your soul and body. The 3 channels in the body, Ida, Pingala, and Sushumna, carry life force through all forms. When pain surges through these channels, energy flows where previously blocked. This explains why, after intense emotional pain, strange new aliveness often emerges. Energy moves where stagnation previously existed. Examine the most powerful people you know. Did ease create their strength, or did they forge power through challenge? Steve Jobs faced firing from his own company before creating Apple's most revolutionary products. Oprah Winfrey transformed childhood abuse into a platform helping millions. Nelson Mandela endured 27 years imprisonment before leading national liberation. Your soul works identically. It contains untapped power reservoirs that remain dormant until pain activates them. This represents practical reality, not mystical speculation. The body releases its most powerful biochemicals, endorphins, adrenaline, DMT, under conditions of stress and pain. These substances produce experiences of transcendence, clarity and power inaccessible during normal, comfortable states. Growth comes through facing internal darkness and transmuting it to light. Pain creates the pressure, forcing you to face this darkness. Without it, most people spend entire lives avoiding their shadows, never discovering those shadows contain their greatest gifts. When pain enters your life, try something radical. Welcome it. Ask, what power will you activate in me? What strength will I discover? Then watch dormant capacities emerge within you. Feel your hand right now. Clench it into a fist as hard as possible. Feel the tension and discomfort. Now release. Feel energy flowing back. Pain operates similarly, creating contraction that, when released, allows expansion. Life masters avoid nothing. They transform everything into fuel. Pain strips away everything non-essential, leaving only your core strength. Notice how crisis situations reveal capabilities you never knew you possessed. Parents lift vehicles off trapped children. Ordinary people perform extraordinary feats during emergencies. Your capacity expands to meet demands when necessity calls. This activation happens not despite pain, but because of it. The intensity of challenge determines the degree of power activation. Small challenges activate minimal capacity. Overwhelming challenges force total activation. Your greatest strengths remain hidden until circumstances demand their emergence. In mastery of these channels lies the secret of life. When pain flows through your system without resistance, transformation happens automatically. Energy locked in habitual patterns releases, becoming available for new creation. This energy alchemy represents the core of spiritual awakening. Notice how people describing their greatest achievements almost always reference overcoming significant obstacles. The obstacle provided necessary resistance against which they developed their power. Without that resistance, potential remains dormant. Pain provides perfect resistance for soul development. 3. Pain deepens your capacity for love. This may sound counterintuitive, but represents absolute truth. Pain expands your capacity to love. Have you ever loved deeply without making yourself vulnerable to pain? The two exist inseparably. Your love depth directly corresponds to how much pain you willingly risk. Unity underlies all apparent diversity. Pain breaks down separation illusions and exposes our fundamental connectedness. When you suffer, something cracks open in your heart. Tenderness emerges previously absent. Examine history's most compassionate individuals: Mother Teresa, MLK, the Dalai Lama. Did comfort open their hearts, or did witnessing and experiencing suffering? Pain softened them, making them more receptive to others' suffering. Your nervous system evolved for this purpose. During pain, your brain releases oxytocin, the identical bonding hormone released during love and childbirth. This biochemical response pushes you toward connection rather than isolation. Pain literally rewires you for love. Earth exists as a living entity sharing our essence, with identical life force flowing through both. When you experience personal pain, you become more attuned to world collective pain. You feel the suffering pulse running through all life, and this awareness never crushes you, it expands you. Remember a time when you shared your pain with someone who truly heard you, who avoided fixing you or changing subjects but simply held space for your suffering. That created deeper bonding than 1,000 casual conversations. Pain, when witnessed compassionately, creates intimacy nothing else can match. Most people believe vulnerability equals weakness. They understand nothing. Vulnerability, willingness to risk pain, represents ultimate strength. Building walls requires little courage. Keeping your heart open when everything urges closure requires revolutionary courage. Consciousness exists beyond physical form. Pain helps you experience this directly by pushing beyond limited identity boundaries. During deep suffering, perception shifts. You become less identified with personal narrative and more aware of the vast consciousness field containing all experience. History's greatest lovers were those keeping hearts open despite wounding. They understood what most miss. A heart never broken remains a heart never fully utilized. Your ability to love resembles a muscle, growing stronger against resistance. Pain provides that resistance. Without it, your capacity for love remains small, safe, and superficial. Did your soul incarnate to play safe, or to experience the full depth of love?